This is a video about arrow length. If you're making arrows for yourself, you can obviously make them to the correct length that you're happy with. If you're ordering the arrows from someone who's making them up for you, it's important they know what length you want. If you want a 28-inch arrow, is that measured from where the pile starts to the bottom of the nock slot or from the tip of the arrow? It's important that they know that. First of all, you need to check your draw length, and we've produced a video showing how that is done. Basically, draw a bow, draw the arrow back to full draw, and then get someone to quickly mark where the arrow comes to the back of the bow, that's the far side of the bow, measure from there back to the bottom of the nock slot, and that is your draw length. It's normal to make the arrow an inch or two longer than that for safety, and if you break a pile off, it's still long enough to fit another pile, so you can do that. A lot of very experienced archers will draw their arrow until they can feel the pile coming onto their hand, so they know they've drawn the same length every time. So for target arrows, we will measure from where the pile just starts to taper to a point back to the bottom of the nock slot, and that is the usable length of the arrow. Just to show how we measure the length of a target arrow, we start from where the pile starts to taper to a point back to the bottom of the nock slot. In this case, we would call this a 30-inch arrow. Someone else might well measure from where the pile actually starts, and that would make this roughly a 29.5-inch arrow. So, which is why you need to make it clear to whoever's making the arrows for you exactly where you want them measured from. Now, we've got members of the Royal Company of Archers who buy clout arrows from us, and they really do like to get them right back here, such that if you overdraw, it becomes dangerous. So some of their bows we've made with belly wedges. This is quite a very old way of overcoming the problem of drawing back into the bow. May well be a subject for another video that we could do. So that's how we measure the arrow. Some people will measure the length of the arrow from where the pile starts, and that's fine, as long as you know and the person making the arrow knows that's the length that you want. When I used to shoot recurve with aluminium arrows, obviously they're doing the same as us. If you wanted a set of arrows made for you and said you wanted them 28, then would be measured 28 to where the pile starts, because that piece there is slopes away and you couldn't possibly use that because it would be gone past the arrow rest. Different types of piles, it's got slightly different problems. With the Victorian type pile, this very sharp pointed one, if you draw that back onto your hand, you start to alter the angle that the arrow is at. So in that case, you would have to measure it to where the wood and the pile intersect. So just to there. The same would probably apply to this medhead bodkin type. So again, you would probably just measure the arrow to there, and then the head would be in addition to the arrow length.
Well, I hope you found that useful, and thanks for watching another one of our videos from Richard Head Longbows, the channel that tries to help you make bows and arrows, or at the very least point you in the right direction. Now, how do you measure arrows? Was it anything like this? And what do you tell the person who makes your arrows if you don't make your own? Do you give them this sort of information? Do you help them out, or do you just try and confuse them? Let us know in the comments below. As I say, thanks for watching. There's some more videos on the screen to watch if you want, and please like and subscribe if you'd be so kind. We'll see you again soon.